So in the previous session, we have discussed the types of scripting which we have. So yeah, Alekia, what are the two types of scripting in ServiceNow? Alekia? Yeah,
Okay. Server script and the user script, right? Client script.
yes. So what exactly client script does? Client side scripting.
Client script makes a modification on the form, front end form, where the client has some conditions or to make it on the appearance of the form.
Yes, and coming to the server side.
Like server side, I mean, it holds the conditions of on the table on the what we call this template or fields. What we call that?
So it is related to the database.
Yeah, database. But we mentioned some term template. Okay, go ahead. So it's on the database. I mean, types. There will be fields or type something else, right?
So yeah, data which is not visible on the form.
Okay.
Yeah. And coming to the Glide APIs. So in the client side scripting, what are the two Glide APIs which we use?
Glide APIs. Glide G dot form. Okay, G dot form.
G
One
underscore
is,
form and
yeah, G dot. Oh, yeah, okay. G underscore form. And another one is G underscore template or
G underscore user.
yes, yes. G
yeah.
underscore user. And coming to the server side scripting, we have to discuss that today. And yeah, yeah, Alekia, you're back. So let me just
Aren't we going to discuss about catalog client scripts or something?
yes, today we'll be discussing that as well.
Okay.
So in the previous session, we have discussed the two types of scriptings which we have. The first one was client side scripting, and the second one was the server side scripting. So coming to the client side scripting, we have two locations in which we actually write them and execute them. So the first location is UI policies. So we use these UI policies to make a field mandatory or read only and make it visible based on the conditions. Coming to the client scripts, we can do uh, these particular functionalities based on the conditions, and also we can modify the form UI. Suppose based on the condition, if you want to remove uh, options in particular field, or you want to hide something, or you want to actually validate the logged in user. So if he's the logged in user is having the ITIL role, then you want to show only some fields. So based on different conditions, we'll be writing the script in the client side scripting. And we have four types of client scripts.
Manu, the screen share looks a bit weird.
Let me just, this is
Yeah, now it's better.
so, and then coming to the client scripts, we have four types of client scripts. So the first one is onload, where if you want to populate any fields, or if you want to show an alert on load of the form, then we'll be using this. And on change is where whenever a field value is getting changed, then this particular script runs. And then on submit is again in order to validate anything before you, like, on saving the form. And coming to the on cell edit, this works for the list view of any table. On change of any field value, this particular on cell edit works. And we have the glide form and glide user. So I guess you have worked on glide form and glide user yesterday, the methods. Or did anyone work on that?
assignment, right?
Yes, yes. Did anyone work on that?
You're missing Kirtana. She's only one who does.
No, I didn't get you, Sandeep.
No, no. I'm just saying like we miss Kirtana. She is the one who does that.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, glide form methods. Can you name some methods which you have worked on in the last session? In the task also we have worked, right? So can anyone mention them? Some of the methods.
Gender score form, get value, set value, get reference,
Yeah,
set mandatory, set display value,
yeah,
and gender score user, mm, get first name, last name, get user ID, and has role,
yeah. So what
has
is the
exact.
difference between has role and has role exactly?
So as role is like it's a global term. Like say like he may have multiple roles, but it's open for global roles. So if you say as role exactly, it restricts within the limits of that particular value.
Basically, has role also works the same, but the mentioned role, it works exactly for the mentioned role plus the admin role. That's it.
Yeah.
Whereas the has role will work for the mentioned role, only the mentioned role, but not for the admin. So that's the small modification in your answer. That's it. Right, everything was right. Did you get my point?
Yeah, yeah, got it. I was saying like a global, but
Yeah.
in the it
Uh,
says like admin is the only the one who has a global access. Yeah,
yeah.
got it. Yeah.
Okay. And coming to has role from list is where you'll be mentioning the list of roles. And then today we'll be seeing the catalog client scripts and catalog UI policies. So why are we actually mentioning them, catalog UI policies and catalog client scripts? Already we have the client scripts, right? So you can actually go there and you can write a client script. But why are we not writing that? Why are we actually writing only the catalog client scripts or catalog UI policies? Can anyone uh, tell the reason? What
Like
exactly?
maybe for customized conditions,
Hmm.
combination of two different multiple different methods.
And others? Any response? So, yeah. So basically, catalog coming to the basic line script, if you see here, we are actually giving the table name, right? So coming to the catalog UI policies or catalog line scripts, we don't have the table names to them. So let's see a catalog item. So let's go to the maintain items, in which we'll be having the catalog items. Let's take any of them. We have created the iPhone. This iPhone. So if you see here, we already have a tab called catalog UI policies and catalog client scripts here. So here in the client scripts, in the regular client scripts, we'll be mentioning the table so that it works for the all the fields on the table. But coming to the catalog item, if you see, we have variables which are not related to one table. So one catalog item has different variables which is not same to the all catalog items. So for that case, we have catalog UI policies, catalog client scripts, which is only particular to that particular catalog item. If you write any catalog client scripts, you can access the variables of this particular catalog item only. And you can actually modify the variables. If you just see here, let's click on try it. So these are the variables. If you take another item, it varies. The variables will vary. So in the same way, so for that conditions, we'll be writing the catalog client scripts and catalog UI policies for that particular item. So let's go here. If you see here again, catalog UI policies, and let's click on new. This is again same. Suppose if you see, we are actually writing it applies to the catalog item, and what is our catalog item name, we are mentioning that. And short description, let's take make a field mandatory. So instead of field, we call them as variables. So make a variable mandatory, and then you can give the conditions. So catalog conditions is where again it comes with the variables of that. Suppose let's say our color is space gray, then this particular UI policy should work. And if you see here, the check boxes, three check boxes, this applies on the catalog item view. Means whenever you click this checkbox, this indicates this will only applicable for the catalog item while you are ordering. If you check this particular box after creating a catalog, I mean like after ordering something, there will be a catalog task which gets created. It applies on the catalog tasks as well. If I just check this particular box, then for every item, once you order, an RITM gets created. So for that RITM also, this particular UI policy will work. So these are the check boxes which mentions that where this particular UI policy should actually work. And again the onload is same and reverse if false is same. So let's just save this. So for each UI policy, you have to create an UI policy action in which you can actually select this new, and let's say the storage to be mandatory, true, and let's submit this. So once if I submit, let's check this. So yeah, so once if you see here, my color is space gray, then the storage is mandatory. If I change it to silver, my storage is non-mandatory. So like that you can write the UI policies specifically only to that particular catalog item. And that goes same with the catalog client scripts. So we have seen the glide form and glide methods, right? Glide user methods. So here if I just go and click new, here you will be specifying the name. Let's say make storage read only. Let's take an example, and then applies to the catalog item which is active. If you see here, we have only three types in the catalog client scripts. Why is this happening, and why not on cell edit is there? Can anyone tell that?
We don't have list view on catalog item.
Yes. So as I specified before, for each catalog item, it has its specific catalog line script and UI policy. So this doesn't have any list view in which you actually go and edit a field. So we only have these three types in the catalog client scripts, which is an important interview question. where they might ask us like what is the difference between the client script and the catalog client script. So we have to specify the first difference, which is type. So in regular client scripts we have four types. We also have the on cell edit, but in the catalog client scripts we don't have the on cell edit, because each variable or each item has its own catalog variables, which is not same for each catalog item. Am I clear up to this?
Yeah, I mean this thing only applies to the catalog or any other variables also the same way.
So
I mean,
this is applicable for only this particular catalog item and
no,
its
no, no.
variables.
My question is, as of now, as we are discussing about catalog UI policies,
Huh.
we are talking about the, I mean, client. Uh, I
Yeah.
mean, the difference between the difference between the server policies and the client, right? So, is there any other fields like not only the catalog? Is there like roles or any other things also? Like everything has the same different way of from the client.
No, 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 no. Only everything is same actually. Only the difference is we are writing for each catalog item over here. There you are specifying the table. That's the difference. Everything, the code you write, the script you write, the methods which you use are everything is same. Again, you'll go here. You'll select, suppose, let's say onload. Again, the function comes and you can write the same code over here. Let's say alert hello, and let's say g underscore form dot set read only for the field which is storage, then true. So before doing that we have to make our UI policy inactive. Then we are setting this read only. Let's save this. So on load this is, and then storage is read only. So everything whatever you write, the script is same. Only the difference is the types. We will be having three types, and for each catalog item you will be writing the catalog client script and UI policy for it. Is that clear? Am I clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So there is a small task I want you all to try. So this is on a problem table. So I'm just posting this in a group. So so create a client script. So here this is on the table new to SS, on changing the change table. This is on the change table. I just posted the question. So if you are, if your instance is weak, wake it up and try doing this task, and then let's move on to the server side scripting. If you have any queries, let me know, as this is new to you. No problem to ask questions.
So you didn't specify which table changes, right? You say like table when the table changes from
Changing the change tables state. So change management table we have, right? We have
change man.
change table.
Maybe I'm doing it the wrong way. So I mean I can use on change type on the type, but which okay. So maybe I'm in the wrong. I'm trying to do it in the catalog client script. Is the right thing to do?
No, no, no.
Okay, so that is the wrong thing I am doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So tables. So to make changes on the tables, I should go from the server script.
No, 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 no. The question is, so write a client script when you get where you get an alert message on changing the change tables statements. We have a change request table.
Okay.
Change underscore request is a table. Incident, problem, change. We have 3 tables, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that on change table, whenever the state is changed from new to SS, then I need to get
Yeah.
an alert message. That's it. So I'll just share my screen to
Okay, I
you
got the
can see
question,
it.
but I'm missing where exactly I'm on the wrong platform actually.
Oh, yeah, share your screen. I'll just let
When I
you.
say wrong platform, I'm using catalog thing.
Yeah. Okay.
See
This
now.
is not the thing. Yeah. Yes. In the last previous class, we wrote client scripts. So here our question is based on the table. So whenever I mention a table name, then we have to write in the client scripts, which is under system definition application. Client scripts, just type there. Client scripts. Yeah, under system definition. Yes.
Okay, so I picked catalog because we were talking about catalog
Yeah, that's
before.
why I gave the requirement so that you guys will think of that. And yeah, no problem. No problem.
Yeah. Okay. So now you have table. Okay, this is where you are asking us to give an
Yes.
alert.
Yes. Yes. You have to mention the table name. So our table name is change table. Change request.
Change table is there. No.
Yeah, we have changp underscore request. Yeah, the second.
Okay. So now we need to do
The name of
on change.
on change of which field?
Table name. Wait.
Oh yeah, here you have a field name. If you see there, you have to specify the field name. On change of in the top, below the type. For in the top, in the
Oh,
field.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, not in the script part. Totally up. So yeah, field name.
Okay. Field name as table. T. A.
State.
Sorry.
State. Yeah, you have state. Yes.
Okay. You wait. A type table as change request on change.
On change of state.
Okay. So not.
So I mentioned that just go to the requirement. Yeah. Table state from new to SS.
Okay.
So just go to the table and find the value, the backend value of new and SS, and try to get an alert. From the application, navigator also you can actually go.
Then go from this one. Oh, sorry, configure.
Configure dictionary. This doesn't take you there. You can actually go to the application navigator, all search for change. You have there open the
This is
first
again
in the
supposed to
first
catalog, right?
no. You here in the top you have the open up module called open. Yeah, control and click on control and open it next tab so that it will be easy. Know the name of the record? The first record, yeah, you can open that. Yeah, you have the state over there under type. Yeah, you can configure that. Just click on right click of state, configure dictionary. Yeah, configure choices. Yeah, you just go back, configure choices. No, not that. Show list. So here you have to select our table, which is change request to the left. Yeah, here
Yeah,
you have
this is
-4.
-4 and this is 1.
New is -5.
New is 1, I guess. Here is this. Oh no, change request, right?
Change
Okay.
request.
-4, -5, -4.
Okay.
On change of table.
On change of state.
Yeah.
There you didn't need not write. You have to always write after the comment which they specified. You can begin the script below. You have
We can write the new value here, right?
from the seventh line you can actually start writing the script. Yeah.
Okay, that's why they mentioned topical comment here and begin the script below.
Yes.
Oh, this need actually a lot of practice, but we don't get time. That's okay.
Yeah, if your state's
Yeah.
old value means if old value is minus
Okay, so now we need to go with the G values, glide.
for now we will be actually having old value and new value which actually stores the values of state.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
directly you can write the if condition if the old value is -5 and the new value is -4.
We don't need to say state here.
Yeah, you need not because we are specifying it in the field name. So all the values get captured in the parameters of on change. So old
Okay.
value and new value are the previous and new values of state.
-5.
Sandeep, actually, it's
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no problem. Actually, the script goes like the this. So did anyone do Boji or Alekia?
I can share the screen
Yeah,
now.
yeah, sure. Yeah, if you see here, Sandeep,
Yes.
yeah, here,
Okay.
if you see, if old value is -4 and new value is -5, and
Okay.
then she
Yeah.
is giving an alert.
Okay.
Manu, 1 second. You were looking at the table values, the field values, and some.
Yeah,
Is it change system tables or
yeah,
change
that's the
request?
right change request only. It's fine. You can go and execute that. I mean, like, go to the change request table and try changing and save it.
Yeah, my question is, which made me confusion is the state. We are not in the script. We are not mentioning anywhere as I mean a parameter or value as a state, right? Like I mean field name.
So yeah,
So
here in the on change, what happens is the field name which you specify in the top, the state you have
okay.
specified.
So okay. So it is combination of the top and the bottom both.
Exactly, you are right.
So okay, my perspective was why I mean on the bottom itself.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking I'm writing all the fields and a complete logic in the bottom itself. I'm not looking about the top anyway.
Mm,
So
yeah.
I, okay.
Yes, you can go and execute Alekia.
Where is the change request? Where can I find the field, like the table?
In the application navigator, search for change. I am actually unable to see the whole entire screen. We are.
Okay, 1 second. Mm, now can you see the entire?
Yes, yes. Search for change. Yeah. Click on create new. Create new. Create new.
Oh, sorry.
This is taking.
Is it taking longer or is this the usual time it
No,
takes?
no, no. It's taking longer time. Click on open else. Else you can click on open here in the left. Open up modules. Yeah, you can open any of the record. Take the. Yeah, you can take any of the record. For the emergency, we don't have SS state, so that doesn't
Oh,
work here. The normal change, if you take,
stand.
but it's already crossed the state. It already
Oh,
crossed. You can just go and
filter.
create new. Yeah, create new change request. Here you have the new. Set the mandatory field and all. Click on all. Normal. Yeah. Fill the fields. You have the state, right? You can just change state to SS.
It doesn't seem to be alerting.
Yeah, the alert you have to get.
Maybe you didn't save it. Save or update it.
Just check the backend values from here again in your instance.
Okay.
Go to that. On state, check passes. It's
Change numbers
minus
minus
5
five.
minus 4. Yeah, just wait. Yeah,
Yes,
minus
minus
5
five.
minus 4. Yeah, now save the record. Yeah, go to the previous record. Yeah, here you can change. Yeah, that's the record, right? Just go back. Go back. Yeah. Yeah. Now, can you change? Mm, yes.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Stop share.
Kitty.
So yeah, this is how the requirements will be in the client side. And still, actually, from the next session, we can actually focus on them in depth. Like once if we complete the server side today, then we can actually focus on the requirement and the interview questions, and also we can start the project as well. So now we have discussed the up to the client side scripting, which are where we talked about the UI policies, client scripts, and the catalog client scripts and catalog UI policies. So the next topic is server side scripting. So what exactly is the server side scripting? So the data, the database operations, or any configurations which are related to the backend, that all comes under the server side scripting. And again, the Glide APIs which we use are the Glide system, Glide record, Glide aggregate, Glide date time. So mostly we'll be mainly focusing on Glide system and Glide record. Okay, and the scripting locations where we write the server side scripting are business rules, script includes, fix scripts, and background scripts. So basically, I'll we'll start with the business rules now. So what exactly are business rules? So we are talking about the server side scripting, which is related to the database. So this business rules are server side logic which executes when a database records are queried or updated or inserted or deleted. It means like whenever you are creating an incident record, let's say, so that after you creating and saving the record, only after saving the record, that will be created in the database, means the record gets created or inserted into the database. After that, again, if you open the same record and modify anything, again that particular modification will be done in the database. So what exactly is the database? Suppose we are creating an incident record. So whenever you create a new incident record, this is our database. So that particular record got inserted, or you're updating this particular field. Let's say it's from in progress to new again. We are updating it. Then this particular record is being updated in this particular database. Now you are deleting this particular record. If I select this and I'm deleting the record, then this is removing the record from the database. So these all operations which you do in the database comes under all the logic which is there, comes under the server side scripting, and you can actually execute on that particular conditions in this business rules. So where exactly you'll be creating the business rules? So in our application navigator, we'll search for business rules, which is under system definition. The application system definition, we have business rules. If I just go there, and these are the out of box 4000 records we have. Let's say let's create the new business rule. And if you see here, the first field is where you'll be specifying the name of the business rule and table. So these business rules are table specific business rules. So you'll be writing on the incident table, or you'll be writing on the problem table. So here these business rules are table specific. In the client scripts we have seen, we are mentioning the table and that works only for that particular table. So in the same way here also you are specifying the table name. And then coming to this active is where if this particular record is active, only this business rule works, else it doesn't work. And if you see here, we have an advanced checkbox. If you check this particular box, then there is an advanced tab in which you will be able to write the script. If I uncheck this box, you'll be not having the another field as well. So if you see here, when I'm checking, we are getting when and the operations, other operations. If I uncheck this, we are only getting insert, update, and the actions tab. That's it. So if you want to write any script, you have to click this particular advanced checkbox. Only then you'll be able to write the script. And coming to when to run. So when to run, we have four types of business rules. So we'll be discussing each one of them with detailed explanation and the example, the use case, how the customer comes up with the use case. So like that, the requirement, we'll be seeing that. So these are the four types of business rules. And order is where you'll be specifying in which particular order this business rule should work on this particular table. And coming to the filter condition, so on this particular condition you can specify the conditions over here. Whenever my category is hardware, this business rule should run, or whenever my assignment group is hardware, this particular business rule should run. So like that you can specify the filter conditions here. And coming to the role conditions, so you can give the roles over here. Only this particular role, for this role only this business rule will be applicable, or for only admin role, or only for the ITIL role this business rule should run or execute. Then you can specify the roles over here. And coming to the next tab, which is actions. So what does this actions do is, so you can set the field values. So suppose let's say let's take the incident table. So whenever I specify the incident, then I can, whenever my filter condition is met, this particular condition is met, then the action can be done. So setting the field value, suppose let's say whenever my category is hardware, then I want to set the subcategory to keyboard or subcategory to desk. So like that you can specify over here by setting the field values. And add message is where you can add a message onto the form which specifies that. And abort action, so what does this abort action does is, it stops the execution of this business rule. So whenever my condition is met, you have to stop executing the business rule. In that particular case, we'll be using this abort action. And coming to the advanced, so let's uncheck this. So once if you uncheck, you'll be having the script and here a condition field. So instead of you writing a condition over here, you can also write the condition here. Okay. And coming to the script, this is the function with two objects, current and previous. What does current do is, it gets the values on the table. Currently what value is there, that particular value. Previous is like the old value. So you can actually take the old value and new value. In the same way, current is where currently what value is there for that particular field. And previous is where you are specifying previously what was the value of state or of any field on this particular table. Am I clear up to this form structure of business rule?
Yes, on the current and the previous, right?
Yes.
So the most the table values will be like not be like only two versions of the values, right? So it may
Yes.
keep on different values.
Oh, yeah, only two versions, the previous and the current. That's it. You are right.
No, I mean to say, okay.
Yeah, can you can actually tell again?
So I mean, say the table values. So we are talking about the values in the table, right?
Yes, the field values. So we'll be actually
Only the
writing current dot state. So if my state is this, we'll be writing if my current dot state is 4 minus 4, or my previous dot state is minus 5, like that. You can actually check the condition. While checking the conditions, you can write like this: current dot state, previous dot state, like this.
okay. So now in the business conditions, we need to specify the field also while you are writing the code.
Yes, you have to specify. So in, as I mentioned, in the server side scripting, we'll be using the glide methods called glide system and glide record. So what does this glide system do is, it takes the information, it finds the information about the currently logged in user, and it logs the messages like add info messages, add error messages, so like that. So these are the methods which we have, like add error message, add info message, and it gets the beginning, the date of the beginning of last month or beginning of last week. So these are the methods which we have for the glide system. So these are, I guess these are 70 or 60 to 70 count. And we have the glide record. So what does this glide record do is, this particular glide method which interacts with the ServiceNow database. So what does this do is, it actually queries the data from the database. So the main difference between the glide system and glide record is, glide record gets the data from the ServiceNow database. It interacts with the database. And glide system is where it prints the info messages, or it gets the log messages and all. And if you see here, we have a specific code written over here. So let me just write the same here and explain you. So as Sandeep, you have mentioned in the last class, can we get the data of one table and into the another table? Like you are writing on this table, but you want the data of another table,
Yeah.
let's say problem table or change table. So in server side scripting, we can actually do that. So how actually we do is, so let's take var gr, it's a variable, and new glide record. As I mentioned, glide record gets the data from the database.
So
So here,
we are using GR for the glide record, right?
yeah, any variable you can actually use. So I'm just writing gr,
Oh,
that's it.
okay. I thought that was an okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you can use any variable. So here in the first line of code always will be getting the table name. So which table data you want, that table, whole table is now here with you. So in this particular table, let's say gr dot add query. I want only the data where my category is hardware. So what exactly this does is, here you are getting whole data of the table, whole data, and in the second line you are querying it. Means you are cutting the condition, means you are specifying the condition. I want the records where my category is hardware. Okay, so this is like the
Okay.
condition. And in order to execute this condition, we'll be writing gr dot query. Only when you write this particular gr.query, only then the particular condition which you have mentioned will execute. After that, you have to get all the record. Let's say while gr.next. What does this do is, it gets all the records in an order. So gr dot next. So gr dot next is you are getting the records one by one. So you'll be
Can you,
having
can you,
many
can you
records.
change the variable from gr to something else on the line 4?
Yeah, sure. Let's take.
Yeah,
Mm,
I mean, it's going in the mind. It's going like as a
yeah.
command rather
Okay.
than a character.
Uh, any variable, let's say ABC,
Yeah, variable ATC or ABC. Okay.
and specifying ABC, ABC. So here again, if we just go to the problem table, let's open all the records. So here we are specifying these are this the table we got in the first line, and we are adding the condition like category is hardware. Let's say run. So we have 7 records. So let's take these are 7. So now let's get the count of the records here. So in order to get the count, we have gs dot get row count. What does this do is this gets the count of the records in this particular table, means this particular condition is met. Then you want the count of the records, then this particular condition will get the records, this method will get the records count. And let's say we are adding this in the info message. Add info message, the count of records, and let's format. This is a format button which formats your code in a order. Then let's give a name to this. So on the incident table, this particular, so let's say insert. So here these are called as operations. So whenever you are creating a record, then this particular business rule will work, which is insert. And if you click on updating the existing record or on the insert of the existing record, this particular business rule will work. And whenever you check this delete operation, then while you are deleting a record in the database, then this particular business rule will execute. And query is where you are giving the filter conditions. So let's say I'm giving the filter condition as category is hardware. So this particular query, this particular business rule will work. So query is where you'll be specifying any filter conditions or anything like that. And let's save this business rule. Let's go. This is on insert and update. So let's update this. So this any business rule will work only after you saving the record. So once if you save the record, so actually this is undefined it seems. So let's go there. gs dot get row count. It's abc dot get row count because we are using this the variable which you use, that row count we have to get, right? So but we have mentioned the other one. Now let's change this to DNS and save the record. So 7. So this is the way you write for the glide record. So that's what we are specifying here. In the first line, you have to get the table name. And in the second line, you are adding the query, means you are filtering the records. And then only when you write dot query method, the previous conditions get executed. And then in order to return all the records, we are using the while loop, in which you are specifying going into every record dot next. I guess I'm getting echo. So whenever I write dot next, only then I'll be gliding to the every record in this particular table. This is what we'll be using, how we'll be writing the code for glide record. And again, you have different methods. As I mentioned, glide, add active query. It brings all the records of active records from the table. And add not null query means it brings all the records where the field is not empty. Add null query, it brings all the records where the fields are empty. Add query, which we have seen, it filter out the values, you have to specify the conditions. And deleting a record, deleting a multiple records. So these are again many methods which we have in the glide record. In each and every use case, we can actually use that and create an Excel so that it will be easy to us. So yeah, coming to the main part of business rules, where you have seen up to that. Am I clear up to that? Yeah, before going into this.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions or any queries? No or yes? No queries? Buchi and Alikia, you.
No.
So coming to the types of business rules. So we have seen when to apply this particular business rule. So we have four types of business rules: before, after, async, and display. If you see here in our business rule, when to run, we have four types of business rule: before, after, async, and display. So let's see each one of them. Coming to the before business rule, so whenever a user submits the record and excuse me, so whenever the user submits the record, but the record is not yet being stored in the database, means before any action is taken on the record in the database, then this before business rule will execute. So let's take an example. Suppose, let's say, whenever my category here, let's take, yeah, whenever the category is hardware, then my assignment group should populate as hardware. So how actually we can achieve this? So we are saving the record before it is being saved into the database. Means it has to store the assignment group as hardware into the database. So the before any action is being taken on the database, we need to execute this. And if you see the another use case, if I want in a location table, we are creating a custom field in which we want the state, city, and country values like this. Okay, where the state, city, and country will not be empty on the location table. So I'll just show you that so that it will be easy to you to understand. So what exactly am I looking is cmn underscore location dot list. Let's take this for an example. So if you see here, we have city, state, and the other one is the country. So we are having a field, let's say. So we have a field in which I want to store the city, state, and the USA starting letters of this. So once if you save the record, this particular record saves with the field filled. So how you can actually achieve this? By using the before business rule. Means before it is being saved into the database, the field should not be empty. It should be filled. In that particular case, you will be using the before business rule. That goes same with the second example as well. Whenever my category is hardware, then the assignment group should populate as hardware. Means before it is being saved into the database, the assignment group should not be empty. It should be hardware. So that is where we are using the before business rule. Am I clear?
Yes.
So now let's see what is after business rule. So this after business rule is where again after we are saving the record and after any action is being taken on the record in the database. So suppose let's take a simple example. So I have an incident record. This is my incident record. My short description is this: network file shares access issue. I have a problem record over here, which also has the short description field. If you see here, we have a short description field. So I want the incident's short description to be copied into the related problems short description field. So how can we actually achieve this? Only once if you save the incident record, then you can actually get the short description value, and you can actually paste that short description into the problem. You can actually copy that into the problem table. Means only once the action is completed and stored in the database, then the other action has to start. So this is where the after business rule works. This is how it works. Am I clear with the after business rule?
Yep.
So let's take a scenario and I want you to guess what exactly is that a before business rule or an after business rule. So I have a date field over here. Let's take the resolved date, okay, or the actual start date. So whenever my actual start date, or let's take two date fields so that it will be easy to us. 1 minute. Just change table. So if you see here, the planned start date, I'll select my planned start date as today, let's say. Okay. So, and my planned end date as the previous date. Okay, before my this, which is not right actually. Okay. So how can we actually tell the user that you should not select the planned end date must be after the planned start date? How can we achieve this?
By using before.
So yeah, why and how we are telling that it's before business rule?
So because we are not submitting it. So as soon as the start date field is populated, it validates the end date with the start date field.
Yes.
Isn't it a client script?
Yeah, this
I
is
think so.
client. Yeah, this is client script. Yeah. But
Yeah.
but before that, what am I asking is, yeah, the start date and end date. So how you can actually achieve this particular scenario?
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, and Sandeep, only once if we save the record, only then the business rule will start work. It starts working. Okay. So before we save the record, everything what happens is the client side scripting only.
Yes.
But this
So,
can
but,
be
but
achieved
here in this
using the before
scenario,
business
even
rule
before we
also.
save it, it validates, right? So the before condition.
Before condition, no. Only once if you save, then it shows as an error message.
Okay, so just now you didn't even save, and we got it populated. I'm a banner there in the pink.
Yes, yes.
Even before you save it, we had a banner there.
This is the client script which is being written in the default way. This is the default client script which was written. But you can also achieve this using a business rule, which is before business rule. You can actually try on actual start date and actual end date. I guess on this it was not written. This is the default one which I didn't write. It's default, tables default. So yeah, this is also the default one which is there. So yeah, only once if you save the record, you can achieve that. So using the before business rule, we can achieve. Let me give the another scenario wherein, yeah, if you see here, this particular scenario, how can you achieve this scenario? So when a problem is created, related incident state should change to on hold, and the on hold reason should be awaiting caller. So how can you achieve this?
The follow is created related incident state changed. No, it goes to an after submitting it.
Yes. So after you saving the problem record into the database, only then you can actually get the incident record, and you can change these values.
Change the value. Yep.
So the before and after business rules are good, right? You understood it. We can go to the next. We can move on.
Yeah.
Yes, from my point.
So the next type is async business rule. So this async business rule also works like the after business rule, means after you submitting the record and any action is being taken on the database. Unlike the after business rule, this async will run or will execute asynchronously. Means suppose let's take a scenario in which you have the catalog requested item. Okay, so one requested item with many catalog tasks. So if I say my requested item record is closed, then all the child uh, catalog tasks should close. In that particular scenario, the system can't wait till all the catalog tasks get closed. So which runs in the background, or which runs executes asynchronously. In that particular scenario, we'll be using the async business rule. So in after business rule, after this executes, all the records gets updated, only then the control will be given to the user. In the async, it runs in the asynchronously, means in the another thread, we can tell the parallel thread. So if you are saving this record parallelly, the other records get updated in the background, so which doesn't affect the performance of the instance. So the better situation or better usage is, you have to use the async business rule, where our performance issues will not be, or it runs asynchronously, and then immediately you can update anything on the table or on the form. Am I clear?
Yep.
So what is the
Do you have any
difference between
separate methods or something like that to execute the async business rule?
No, the same glide form, glide system and glide record. So the only thing is we have to get the scenario. So let's take
Okay.
this scenario. when an incident with the category hardware and subcategory as VPN is inserted, and you have to create a record in the user which is not related to the incident, means which can work in the background, right? So there is no relation or there is no dependency between the one table and the other table. Then you have to use the async business rule. If there is any dependency or you have to wait for that particular field to update or there is any relation, then you'll go with the after business rule. If there is no relation, there is no dependency, then you'll be working with the async business rule. The script is same, the glide systems, glide records, the methods, everything is same. Am I clear?
Okay, yeah.
So whenever a requirement is given, you have to look at when to apply, and the second one is action. What is the action to be taken, and is there any dependency? So whenever a requirement is given, you have to think, is that a before business rule or after business rule or async business rule? And then action means whenever my condition, let's say let's take another one which is condition. On this particular condition, what is the condition? You have to know on what condition and what action is to be taken place. What action is to be taken place, and is there any dependencies? So if the condition is dependent on the action, and what when we have to apply this before business rule, when you are applying the after business rule, or when you are working with the async business rule. So if you want to update a record before your any action is being taken on the database, then you'll be going with the before business rule. If you have any dependency on this particular condition, this action should work, so there is some dependency, then you'll be going with the after business rule. If the condition is different and the action is different, means there is no dependency on the condition and the action, then you'll be going with the async business rule. These are the four things you have to know whenever a requirement is being given. Clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
And the last one, which is display business rule. So we have seen before, after, async. So this is totally different, which is display business rule. This particular business rule will execute its logic when a form is loaded and the record is loaded from the database. Means it gets the data from the server side and it presents us on the client side. Means this particular display business rule will be executed on the client side as well as on the server side. Means you'll be using another object which is g underscore scratchpad. Here you'll not be using the glide system or glide record. For this display business rule, we have g underscore scratchpad object, which
So, okay, so got it. So, but mostly the display rule applies based upon the user
yeah the
login.
no, this is basically if you want to show any data on the client side, the server side data on the client side. So we are
Yeah.
having the, let's take you have a caller. Okay, you are
Mm-hmm.
selecting the caller and you want the caller's first name and last name, which is in the backend caller user table. You
Okay.
want to show the that particular caller's username and first name and last name of that user, then you'll be going with the display business rule, which passes the server side data to the client side. So how exactly that works, let's see in a small script. So let me just show you how that works. So let's take let's make it inactive and save.
Do you have any, like, similar to catalog client scripts and catalog URL policy? Do you have any catalog business rules on server side, something
No,
like that?
no, no,
Okay.
no. So display business rule. Let's write it on the incident. So my use case is the same. So once if I check this advanced checkbox, if you see here, for before you're getting all the operations, and let's select display, we don't have any operations because it's just sending the data from server side to the client side on load of the form. Okay, so let's take this. So as I mentioned, G underscore scratch pad dot. So G underscore scratch pad is where it's an object and you have to give a variable to that. So let's say name is equals to, so whose name you want, the current caller underscore id. Caller underscore id is the backend name of caller, caller's first name. So first underscore name. If you want to get this value, you want to get the value of current caller's first name, you're actually dot walking the fields. Means let's take this incident record, this particular caller's first name. So this is my record, this is the user record, the backend name is first underscore name. So we gave the same, and let's save this. TCH scratch. So you are writing the business rule where you are getting the data into this variable, but you have to print it on the client side. So where you have to write again a client script because you are just getting the data, but you are not printing it. So how exactly you'll write again? You know how to write a client script. So you'll just go and create a client script. Let's take alert of display, the name, on which table, on the incident table. Incident table, and as I mentioned, this works on load of the form. So you want to show an alert, the first name is, and you have to get the this particular variable. So in your business rule, we are mentioning the scratchpad dot name and we are storing the value of current caller. And let me just save this, go to an incident record and refresh. So on load we are getting the caller's first name. So suppose let's say, let's change this to another user and save. So yeah, so this particular display business rule gets the server side data to the client side. You have to write a business rule and then a client script to execute. Am I clear?
Yep.
Yes.
So this is how these business rule works. So what exactly and how exactly you have to practice is, So first, just go through all these methods which you have and try with the, actually we have the docs for this. So for each method you can actually come up with an example, so that in the next session which we have, I'll actually provide you the scenarios, and you can go ahead and write the script where you can go through the business rules, or and you can also write the client scripts, so according to the requirement. And let's start preparing for the interviews, and let's actually prepare in the more way, like in a project, how does the requirements come and how exactly we have to work. So like that we'll start practicing. Okay, so don't miss the next session, so where we'll be actually covering different scenarios, and we'll use all these methods. And we have the other two actually, the script includes and background scripts, which we have to actually look into, because it's again a whole burden to you. So try come up with the examples and try these methods. So for any queries you can uh, message me. Is that clear?
Yes.